Now next type, that is a reticular loose connective tissue. Okay, that is a third type of the loose connective tissue, that is a reticular loose connective tissue. So it is a network of the reticular fiber. Okay, there is a reticular word, so means there is a reticular fiber. See, this is a reticular fibers. Okay, and here there is a reticular cells. Okay, there is a reticular fibers, the network of the reticular fibers in a typical loose ground substance. Okay, in a typical arrangement of the reticular fibers into the loose ground. Okay, reticular cells lie on the network. Okay, what is the function of the reticular loose connective tissue? The fibers form a soft internal skeleton that support the other cell types, which include the WBC, white blood cells, mast cells, and the macrophages. Okay, it is helpful for it forms or support the internal skeleton of these cells. Okay, which are the cells located into the connective tissue, like the WBC cells, mast cell, macrophages. Okay, so in these type of these cells, it provide the substance, it provide the internal skeleton. Okay, so reticular fibers provide the skeletal to the tissue. Where it is located? It is located mostly in the lymphoid organs like lymph node and the bone marrow. Okay, here there is a bone marrow. Okay, and it is also located into the lymph node. Okay, lymph node, it is essential nodes that is located into the that is useful for the prevent, it gives defense to the body from the organism. Next type, that is the irregular dense connective tissue proper. Okay, so this is the second category in the connective tissue proper, that is a dense connective tissue. In that, irregular dense connective tissue. So it is primarily irregularly arranged collagen fibers. Okay, irregular arrangement of the collagen fibers. You can see in the, see, this is the collagen fibers. Okay, so there is irregular arrangement of the collagen fibers into the dense connective tissue. Some of the elastic fibers. Okay, so mostly two type of the fiber, collagen fiber and the elastic fibers, are located into the irregular dense connective tissue. Major cell type, that is the fibroblast. Okay, mostly fibroblasts are seen into the irregular dense connective tissue. What is the function of the irregular dense connective tissue? That is the elasticity and the structural support. Okay, elastic fibers are there, so it provides the elasticity as well as it gives a structural support because of the collagen fibers. Okay, collagen fibers are very tough and highly tensile. Location, that is the dermis of the skin, submucosa of the digestive tract and the joints. Okay, so where it is located? Mostly over the surface of the skin, in the dermis layer of the skin, and the submucosa. After the mucosa, there is a submucosa in the GI tract. Okay, so this is the dense connective tissue. The second, that is a second portion, that is a irregular. Then regular dense connective tissue proper. Okay, so introduction, there is a primarily parallel collagen fibers. You can see here there is a collagen fibers and there is a parallel. Okay, so there is a parallel collagen fibers, few elastin fibers. Okay, so there is a collagen fibers plus elastin fibers. The major cell type, that is same like a irregular structure, but in this type of the tissue, regular distribution, while in the irregular dense connective tissue there is a irregular arrangement of the collagen fibers and the elastin fibers, but in the regular type there is a parallel collagen fibers are arranged. What is the basic function? It attaches to the muscles to the bones and bones to the bones. Okay, it gives a elasticity or connection between the muscles to bone and bone to bone. Where it is located? It is located into the tendons and in the most ligaments. Okay, so where it is located? In the tendons and the ligaments. Then so we have completed the connective tissue, in that the connective tissue proper. Now we will see the second classification, that is the cartilage. Okay, so cartilage, in that the first one is a hyaline cartilage. So let us see the introduction of the hyaline cartilage. So it is a bluish in color and opalescent tissue. Okay, opalescent or transparent tissue, mostly in bluish color. You can see in the figure, bluish color, and surrounded by the dense irregular connective tissue that is called as a perichondrium. Okay, it is mostly surrounded by the dense connective irregular connective tissue that is called as a perichondrium. What is the function of the hyaline cartilage? It gives a support to the organ and reinforce. Okay, then also resist the compressive stress or shock. Where it is located, it forms the most of the embryonic skeleton and end of the long bones and cartilage of the nose. Or okay, you can also feel there is in the nose, over the tip of the nose, there is hyaline cartilage. Okay, so cartilage into the nose, as well as the at the end of the long bones and the during the embryonic development of the fetus. At that time, during the development of the skeleton. Okay, so there is embryonic skeleton, in that there is a hyaline cartilage. Now second type of the cartilage, that is the elastic cartilage. Okay, so elastic cartilage, so it is similar to hyaline cartilage. Okay, it is just similar to hyaline cartilage, but more elastic fibers into the matrix. Okay, there is a less amount of the elastic fibers into the hyaline cartilage, while in the elastic cartilage there is more amount of the elastic fiber. So that's why it is known as a elastic cartilage. What is the basic function of the elastic cartilage? It maintains the shape and allow the flexibility. Okay, because of the elasticity, it there is a characteristic like a stretchability. Okay, it maintains the shape. Okay, after the stretching, so that's why it maintains the shape and allow the flexibility, stretchability. Okay, where it is located, it support the external ear, that is a pinna. Okay, what is pinna? Here that is outer surface, outer lining of the ear, that is a pinna. Okay, so in the pinna there is elastic fibers. Epiglottis, that is located into the vocal cord. Then auditory tubes, okay, inside of the ear, external auditory meatus. Okay, so that is the location where the elastic fibers, elastic cartilage found. Next, third cartilage, that is the fibrocartilage. Okay, so let us see the introduction of the fibrocartilage. So collagen fibers are predominant. Okay, see here there is the collagen fibers. Okay, see this is the collagen fiber. Okay, so collagen fibers are predominant. Okay, matrix looks like a hyaline cartilage but less firm. Okay, no, not much more that about the stretchable. Okay, so cells are arranged in the row. See, this is the cells. Okay, that is arranged into the looks like a row. Then no perichondrium. Okay, there is no any perichondrium. Then what is the basic function of the fibrocartilage? It is highly tensile strength, absorb the compressive shock or injury. Where it is located, intervertebral disc of the vertebra, then disc of the knee joint. Okay, between the two bones there is a joint. Okay, so there is a disc of the knee joint, so it is located into the in this type of the location of the body. So this is the fibrocartilage. Now third type of the connective tissue. Okay, that is the bone. Okay, so what is the bone? It is a hard calcified matrix which contain the many collagen fibers. Okay, bone, it is made up of the many collagen fibers. Okay, it is a hard and the calcified. Okay, calcium is also a major portion of the bond. So okay, it is a hard and calcified matrix. See, this is the matrix. Okay, so many collagen fibers are there, constantly changing mineralized connective tissue. Okay, so while baby at the time of the infancy, okay, during the toddler period, the bone size is very small, so they are growing as per the age. Okay, when they are developing as per the age, so the size of the bone are changing constantly. Okay, then because of the why, because it has a mineralized connective tissue, then it is a very well vascularized. Okay, there is a blood supply to the bones, so it is very well vascularized structure. What is the basic function of the bone? So bone support and protect our body. Okay, it gives a structural framework to the body. So bone gives a support to the other or internal organs which they are the that are the delicate. So it helps for the support and gives a protection. Then provide the levers for the muscles to act on. Okay, there is a muscles, they are act on the bones. Okay, so it gives a framework and it gives a strength to the bone. Store the calcium and other minerals and the fats. Okay, there is in bone there is a minerals. Okay, mostly in the mostly that is a calcium and other minerals as well as the fat. Then bone marrow, it is a site of the blood cell formation. Okay, it is a most important or vital function of the bone. Into the bone marrow there is a function or formulation of the blood cells. Okay, so it is a site of the formation of the blood cells into our body. Okay, so from the bone marrow there is a, see, this is a yellow marrow. Okay, they form the blood cells. Okay, blood cells formation. Then where it is located? Inside the body, into the skeleton. Okay, over the whole body which contains a bone. So this is the bone. It is a type of the connective tissue. So there is a two types of the bone. There is a compact bone and the spongy bone. Okay, so it has a two part, compact bone and spongy bone. Okay, so what is compact bone? It is the external dense outer layer. Okay, what is compact? There is an external layer that is very dense. Okay, or very tough layer. While spongy bone, that is a cancellous bone, internal honeycomb of the small flat pieces called the trabeculae. Okay, there is a spongy bone. Okay, it is a soft area inside the bone. Okay, that is which contain a calcium, and there is a honeycomb appearance. When we see the cross section, we can see the honeycomb appearance of the bone. The spaces between the trabecula will be filled with either red or yellow bone marrow. See, this is the inside of the bone, that is the spongy bone. Okay, spongy bone which contain either red or which contain either yellow. Okay, either red or yellow bone marrow. Okay, so inside the bone there is a bone marrow is present. Okay, so this is the two types of the bone: compact bone, spongy bone. Okay, compact that contains the outer dense layer, and spongy bone which contains, it has a honeycomb appearance as well as which contain a bone marrow. Now last or fourth type of the connective tissue, that is the blood. Okay, blood, it is also a type of the connective tissue. Okay, so let us see the introduction of the blood. So it is a liquid connective tissue. Okay, fluid like connective tissue, liquid like connective tissue. It has a red and white blood cells in the fluid matrix. Okay, into the fluid matrix there is a red blood cell that is known as a RBC, and white blood cells that is known as a WBC. So there is a RBC and WBC like a cells present into the matrix of the blood. Now what is the function of the blood? It transport respiratory gases. Okay, in the RBC carry the oxygen. Okay, so it transport the respiratory gases, nutrients. Okay, they also carry the nutrients and give the nutrients to the other parts of the organ. Then waste, they also carry the waste and deliver to the outside, and other substances like toxins and other structure. Then where it is located? Into the blood vessels. Okay, into the blood vessels, major amount of the blood is located in our body. Okay, so this is the fourth type of the connective tissue, that is the blood. Okay, it is very essential and vital portion of the connective tissue. Now we have completed the connective tissue, that is a second tissue. Okay, after the epithelial tissue, then second one is a connective tissue. Now third one is a muscular tissue, or it is also known as a muscle tissue. Okay, so let us see the muscle tissue. So muscle is one of the tissue type. Okay, muscle tissue or muscular tissue or muscle, that is a type of the tissue. So muscle tissue which is combined with the nerve, blood vessels and the various connective tissue. Okay, muscle tissue which contain the blood vessels, okay, nerve supplies as well as some various connective tissue. So muscles help in the movement of the various part of the body. Okay, so basic function of the muscle tissue, that is movement. Okay, movement of the body part because of the muscle tissue. Now let us see the characteristic, or we can say general characteristic of muscular tissue or muscle tissue. In that, first one is the excitability. What is excitability? The ability to receive as well as respond towards the stimulus. Okay, towards particular stimulus, our body or muscle can react, as well as it gives a reaction towards a particular object or stimulus. Okay, that is excitability of the muscles. So in skeletal muscle, the stimulus is neurotransmitter, that is it gives a chemical signals which is released by a neuron or nerve cell. Okay, then in smooth muscle, there is a stimulus, that could be a neurotransmitter, hormones, stretching, the pH, the PCO2 and PO2. Okay, so these are the stimulus, or we can say it gives a signal to the muscle. Then in cardiac muscle, the stimulus could be a neurotransmitter, hormones and any stretch. Okay, so these are the stimulus, they can cause the stretchability, they can improve the stretchability. Then the response is generation of an electrical impulse that travels along the plasma membranes of the muscle cells. Okay, because of the nervous system, or we can say there is a nerve channels, so they can transfer the nerve impulse. Okay, they can develop the nerve impulse after the stimulus attacking over the skin. Okay, so the message will goes because of the nerve tissue. Okay, so nerve impulse are generated and they are transferred into the electrical impulse, and our muscle can react. Okay, the reaction of the muscle, that is known as the excitability. Second characteristic, that is a contractibility. Okay, so what is contractibility? The ability to shorten or thicken the forcibly when adequately stimulated. Okay, when we are giving stimulation to the muscles, the muscle can become a shorten, flatten or thicken. Okay, when it become a thicken or shorten. Okay, shorten or thicken, so that is known as a contractibility. So this is also defining a property of the muscle tissue. Okay, it is a general characteristic of the muscle tissue. Then third one is a extensibility. So what is extensibility? The ability to be stretch out. Okay, extension or stretch out, that is the extensibility. Then fourth one is a elasticity. So what is elasticity? The ability to recoil or return to the normal after the stretching. Okay, what is stretching? That is the extensibility. After the stretching, the ability to become recoil and ability to return towards the normal stage. Okay, as previous stage. So that is known as elasticity. So then they resume the original length after being stretched. Okay, after stretching, it will comes into the original length. Okay, so that is the elasticity. So this is the characteristics of the muscle tissue. Now we will see the function of the muscle tissue. So first one is a movement. Okay, because of the muscles we can move our hands. Okay, we can move our legs. So movement of the body parts because of the muscle tissue. Then second one is a locomotion. Means there is ability to do movement. Okay, locomotion because of the muscle tissue. Third one is maintain the posture. Okay, because of the muscles it gives a strength to the particular organ, particular structure. Okay, so muscles gives a proper posture. So if you can think, our body posture is maintained because of the muscle. Okay, there is a muscular body, so because of the muscles over the bones, they can give a proper posture to our body. Fourth one is produce heat. Okay, it is a basic function. It is a basic function like a production of the heat. Okay, in our body. Then facial expression. Okay, in our face. Okay, over the skull. Okay, there is a muscles, facial muscles, that is very important for developing a facial expression like smiling, like crying. So because of the muscles over the face, there is a facial expression. Then sixth one is a pump the blood. Okay, it is helpful for the pumping of the blood into the blood vessels, then into the heart. Okay, then seventh one, there is a peristalsis. Okay, where it occurs? Peristalsis movement generally occur into the esophagus. Okay, as well as into the small intestine. Okay, so the peristalsis means wavy movement of the particular organ. Okay, so that is a peristalsis movement. So peristalsis movement occur because of the muscle tissue. So these are the basic function of the muscle tissue. Which are the basic function? First one is a movement, second one is a locomotion, third one is a maintained posture, next one is the production of the heat and stored energy. Then facial expression, it gives a facial appearance as well as facial expression. Then pumping the blood as well as the peristalsis movement. Now we will see the three types of the muscle tissue. Okay, so there is a major three types of the muscle tissue. Okay, so first one is a cardiac muscle tissue, second one is a skeletal muscle tissue, and third one is a smooth muscle tissue. Okay, three types of the tissue, three types of the muscle tissue. Okay, major three types, that is first one is a cardiac muscle tissue. Okay, see this is a cell. Okay, a cell is a tissue is a collection of the group of the cell. Okay, so that's why here there is a cell. Okay, so the cardiac muscle cells looks like this way. So there is a cardiac muscle tissue, skeletal muscle tissue, and smooth muscle tissue. So let us see in detail. So first one is a skeletal muscle tissue. Okay, so it is a long striated cells with multiple nuclei. Okay, see this is the skeletal muscle tissue that is located mostly into the skeletal muscle. Okay, skeletal muscles are located or connect with the bone. So skeletal muscle tissue, it has a long striated cells. Okay, see this is the stria. Okay, what is a stria? There is, see this is the stria. So, okay, the striated cells with a multiple nuclei. You can see there is a nucleus. Okay, multiple nucleus. Okay, then function. What is the major function of the muscle tissue? So skeletal muscle tissue, contraction for the voluntary movements. Okay, if we can contraction of the voluntary movement. What is voluntary movement? There is a control over that movement. Okay, I can control my movement. I want to move our hands. Okay, my hands. So that time there is a contraction of the voluntary movement. So there is a skeletal muscles. Then where is it located? It is located into the skeletal muscles. Then next one is a smooth muscle tissue. So what is smooth muscle tissue? So it is long, okay, you can see there is a long, okay, see this is the long spindle shaped cells, okay, see this is a spindle shape, see this is a spindle shape. Spindle shaped cells, each with a single nucleus, okay, which contain the single nucleus, okay, no more than one nucleus. There is a single nucleus and spindle shaped cells are there. It is a long cells. What is the function? Propulsion of the substance along the internal passageway, okay. So in the smooth muscle tissue, the basic function there is a propulsion, okay, it gives a movement to the particular substance over the surface of the body cavity or internal passageway or internal lining of the organ, okay. For example, it is located into the hollow organ like a stomach, okay. So in the stomach outer line it also causes the peristalsis movement and it helpful for the propulsion of the particular substance towards the next site. So this is the smooth muscle tissue, okay. Generally it is located into the hollow organ. What is hollow organ? Means which contain a particular cavity, okay. So that is a hollow organ. Then next one, third one is a cardiac muscle tissue, okay. So third, that is a cardiac muscle tissue. It is a branching, okay, there is a branching, there is a striated cell, okay, it is also has a stria, okay, fused at the plasma membrane and then fused with a plasma membrane. It has also a nucleus, okay. So this is the characteristic of the cardiac muscle tissue. What is the function? Function, there is a pumping of the blood into the circulatory system. Okay, in whole circulatory system there is a pumping of the blood, transportation of the blood and carrying the oxygen. So these type of the all function are occur into the circulatory system and there is a cardiac muscle tissue. So where it is located? Into the wall of the heart, okay, into the heart wall there is a cardiac muscle tissue. Now this is the fourth type of the tissue, okay. So we have completed the epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, okay. Now fourth, that is a nerve tissue, okay. So what is nerve tissue? So by far the most complex tissue in the human body, that is the nerve tissue, okay. Nerve tissue, that is a more complex structure of our body, okay. It contain a nerve cells, okay. It is a most complex structure of our body and most complex type of the tissue in our body. So it is formed by a network of the more than 100 million nerve cells, okay. Nerve tissue contain more than 100 nerve tissue, approximately 100 million nerve cells, which is assisted by many more glial cells, okay. So surrounding the nerve tissue there is a glial cells are there. Each neuron has on average at least 1,000 interconnection with other neurons which form a very complex nervous system. Okay, in the nervous system, it is a most complex structure, that is the most important and vital cell, that is a neuron. Okay, so neurons are, each neuron has 1,000 of the interconnection with the other neurons. Okay, so two neurons, not only one neuron are attaching to the other neuron. Okay, more than 1,000 of the neurons are attaching or interconnected in between, and they generate and they develop a nervous system. Okay, see, this is the example of the nerve tissue, or we can say neuron. So what is the function of the nerve tissue? So it regulate and control the body function. Okay, whole body function. Brain, it is also a part of the nervous system. Okay, so it control as well as the regulate whole body system. Okay, all system of the body are interconnected and they are working with the help of the brain. Okay, with the help of the nervous system. So it is a basic function of the nerve tissue. It generates and transmits the nerve impulse. Okay, neurons are interconnected in between and they are generating the nerve impulses and they transmit the towards the brain. Okay, so they generate as well as transmit the nerve impulse towards the brain and they give a reaction. Then it support and insulate and protect the impulse generating neurons. Okay, it also helpful for the support to the our body and also insulate and protect the impulses which is generated by the neurons. Okay, so there is a myelin sheath, okay, into the in over the neurons. Okay, so they can also insulate as well as the protect the nerve impulses which is generated by the neurons. So this is a basic function of the nerve tissue. Now let us see the composition of the nerve tissue. So nerve tissue, it is composed of the two basic elements, two major elements. So first one is a nerve cells, that is also known as a neuron. Okay, neuron, it is a structural and functional unit of the nervous system. Okay, the nerve cells, then neurons, then neuroglia. Second one is a glial cells, or we can say a neuroglia. Okay, first figure that is known as, that is C, this is the neuron, and C, this is the neuroglia. Okay, so the neuroglia, it is also there, it contains some many types in the neuroglia. So first one is a nerve cells, or we can say neuron. See, we'll see the structure of the neuron. See, this is a nucleus. Okay, see, this is the dendrites. Okay, then axon. See, this is the axon. See, this is the myelin sheath. Okay, it insulates the nerve impulse while transmitting. Then Schwann cells. Okay, between the myelin sheath there is a Schwann cell. Then node of the Ranvier between the two cells of the myelin. Then axon terminals. Okay, see, this is the axon terminals. Okay, so this is the basic structure of the neuron. Then neuroglia. Okay, in that many types of the neuroglial cells. Okay, so neuron. So in that, neurons are branching cells. Okay, you can see there is a many branches. Okay, branching. Okay, branching cells. So neurons have many branches and they are attached over the millions of the neurons. So cells processes that may be quite long extend from the nucleus containing cell body. Okay, it has a cell nucleus. Okay, so nucleus into the cell body and it is a quietly long extended. What is the basic function of the neurons? It transmits the electrical impulse from the sensory receptors and to the effectors. What is effectors? Muscles as well as the glands, and they control their activity. Okay, so what is basic function of the neuron? They generally transmit the impulses, nerve impulses, okay, from the receptor sides, and then it will go towards the sensory brain. Then location, where it is located? It is located into the brain, spinal cord and in the nerves. Now next one is a glial cells, or we can say neuroglia. So glial carry the nutrients. See, this is the glial cells. Okay, figure of the glial cells. So it helpful for the it carry the nutrients towards the neurons. Then it is helpful for the speed repair from the injury to the neurons. Provide the myelin for the axons. Okay, it gives the myelin. Okay, here it gives a myelin to the axons. Then support the blood brain barriers. Okay, and may form their own communication network as well, and also involved into the neurogenesis. Okay, so it is helpful for the nervous system. Okay, glial cells give the support to the neurons.